Good morning. It's Monday and this is the last Parenting for Faith tool video. We are on the fifth and final tool. So far we had creating windows, framing, unwinding. I've lost the actual box that I used for wrapping it around. Chat and catch with our phone symbol. And today's tool is surfing the waves. I've got a little surfboard on some waves. So when you are surfing, you have to watch and see when the wave is coming so that you can then ride it. I've never been surfing, but that's what I've been told by other people who have. Not only that, but you have to wait and choose the right wave. You want to choose, the wave that you're actually going to be able to ride. There's some waves that you can't ride. Again, I don't know a lot, but that's what I've been told anyway. And it's a little bit like this with our kids' lives, spiritual and just in general. They engage in different things at different times. These could be our waves. 1 minute they are on a wave and they love reading their Bible, and then suddenly they come off it. The next minute maybe they really love a certain TV program, and then suddenly they come off it and they don't want that TV program anymore. The next minute they might be all about watching worship videos on YouTube, and then they come off it. And then suddenly they might become full of outrage about people not sharing, or about, if they're slightly older, about racism or modern slavery. And that might last for a while. And then suddenly they might be into being superheroes. So their interests and the things that they are engaging in sort of come and go a bit like waves. And some waves come back. So Elise is watching telly and one of her favourite programmes has just come on. Their waves come and go. And it's a bit like that with their spiritual lives. So the tool Surfing the Waves is all about spotting our child's interests and what they're engaging with, and then supporting and enabling them in their journey as we journey alongside them in that particular area of life. We don't have to jump on every single possible opportunity, but we don't want to miss what God is doing either. So it's about spotting what God is doing with your child and then journeying alongside them with that, and sort of picking and choosing which waves to ride, if you like. So how can we do this? Spotting and choosing a wave. We need to learn how to spot the waves and how to pick which one we're going to ride. We shouldn't ever try and force a wave. So an example of this would be the other week when Elise just did not want church on Sunday morning. She just cried and cried and cried, "Mummy, turn it off, Mummy, turn it off." And I tried to be firm, but we could tell she was overtired. And actually the wave of church online wasn't going to happen that morning, and I'd have to catch up later, and we turned it off rather than forcing it. And in the end she went to sleep 45 minutes later. Whereas this week, no problems whatsoever. We had it set up, the music started, she stopped playing, ran and sat on the sofa and said, church is starting. So that's a bit of an example of, not forcing a wave. And just, choosing one and seeing what happens with it. So how do we spot their waves? So we can look at the things they are interested in, their favourite TV shows, because it doesn't have to come from something spiritual. the things that they are interested in everyday life can give us an indication of what's going on in their minds. It might be a game they like, a hobby they like, and it will just give us a clue as to maybe what's going on in their minds, or maybe a passion that God is instilling inside of them, that he's then going to use, or a gift he's given them if it's a hobby, and they're really into music or art. So their interests. Curiosity. What are they curious about? Are they curious about watching bugs? And you could use that to look at God's creation with them. Are they curious about flicking through your adult Bible, or looking at your journal and seeing what you've written, if they're a bit older, about what you've learned? Are they curious about trying to work out how the technical side of church works, especially with church online at the moment? Are they really curious at watching how you use your computer and technology? What are they sort of showing in curiosity about, where they want to find out more? Anger. What are they getting angry about? I'm not talking about like what are they having tantrums over. That's different. I'm talking about like, are they getting like a sense of injustice in the world that's getting them really like angry and fired up? I mean, at the moment, are they getting really angry about all that's going on with racism and the protests in London and things, if they're old enough to know about all of that? Or if they see someone homeless on the street, do they get really angry about that and about poverty in the world? What are they getting angry about? Because sometimes that comes from God, and God is placing that area of injustice on their hearts, and we need to then walk alongside them in exploring what that means and how they can help in that area. Stories they play out, especially for younger children. Is there a recurring theme to the random things they are acting out? So with Elise, we are often role-playing Frozen, normally, where the friends are playing together. We are often role-playing tea parties, or role-playing people being rescued. So there's a theme there to friendship and caring for one another and rescuing and saving one another. So if there's a theme to their role play and the characters they are being and the stories they are acting out, it might give us a clue as to what's going on in their hearts and their minds. Spontaneous ideas they have. They might just suddenly suggest something. Can we light a candle today at dinner time and say a prayer? Go with it. Go for it. As we're walking today, can we look at God's creation? Go for it. So they might just come out with random spontaneous ideas that seem to have come from absolutely nowhere. And often those are the ideas that come from God. Not always, but sometimes. So if it seems like it might, go with it. Do it, see what happens. And finally, the questions they're asking. Is there a theme to the questions they're asking? Because that will give you an indication of something that's really niggling at them, that they really want to know about and want the answer to. So that's how we can spot waves. So once we've spotted a wave, what do? So it's about timing. It's about coming alongside them and gently giving them the next step as to how they could explore that thing further. So Parenting for Faith suggests using a 6-stage cycle for this. It's a cycle that can be used with any aspect of faith. To be honest, it can be used with any aspect of parenting. And it's something that we probably do use with lots of other aspects of parenting, just don't think of doing it with faith. So the first is modelling, creating windows. So for example, brushing teeth. I let Elise see how I brush my teeth. I model it to her. Then it's framing it, explaining it. Well, why do we brush our teeth? To keep them healthy, to stop them falling out when we're older, so that they don't get dirty, so that we don't get poorly in our mouth. Equip them, give them resources they may need to help with it. So if we're going with the example of brushing teeth, I give her a toothbrush and toothpaste to help her brush her teeth. Create opportunities, give them a chance to practice it, have a go for themselves. Yeah, I don't always brush her teeth for her. I give her a chance to take the toothbrush and have a go herself. We talk about doing tiny circles, we do it together. I do it alongside her at times. So I'm brushing my teeth, she's brushing her teeth. I let her brush my teeth, I brush her teeth. So she has opportunities. Establish boundaries, let them know the acceptable limits. Well, we put on the Hey Doggy song, or we use a timer. You know, we've got to do this for 2 minutes. We've got to do it in the morning after breakfast and before we go to bed. So she knows the limits and the boundaries and what's expected. Feedback, praise when you see it being done well, or comment on the difference you notice them, or if they're struggling a bit, maybe talk about a next step to help them improve it the next time round. So with brushing her teeth, I might just say, oh, well done, you know, you kept going until the timer was gone. I could see you were doing tiny circles, and now give me a smile. Oh, look at those shiny white teeth, they look so lovely. Now, toothbrushing may seem a silly example. Sorry, that's my timer. Not yet, sweetheart, in a minute, okay? I'm nearly finished. Sorry about that. The joys of filming live. So that's the 6-stage cycle, very, very briefly. But again, that was with toothbrushing. I was just trying to show it's something that we probably do naturally in other areas of life. So how do we apply that to discipleship and helping our children in their faith? Well, okay. So the other day at breakfast, Elise grabbed our little prayer pot we have with lollipop sticks with pictures of different things we can pray about. She hasn't touched it for about 6 months. Every time we've suggested using it, we've had a no, don't want to use that. The other day at breakfast, she randomly picked it up, and I could see she was pulling them out and she was whispering in her hand to God about the pictures. So I sat, I thought, okay, this is the way of coming. She's using the prayer pot. Let's see what happens. Let's jump on it. So I let her do it. So she was at the stage of creating opportunities, having a go for it herself in our 6-stage cycle. So I thought, great, she's creating opportunities. I'll just wait for her to finish. And now I need to establish some boundaries. So I said to her, oh, it's great to see you chatting to God using our prayer pot. You know, at breakfast time. Have you finished now? She said, yes. Well, now we've finished, we need to make sure we eat our breakfast, because God wouldn't want us to get hungry, and we need the food for energy for our day. Setting that boundary of, yeah, we can chat to God at breakfast time, that's absolutely fine, but we also need to make sure we're eating our food. And then I said, oh, so would you like to tell me what you were chatting to God about? So setting the boundary that she can tell me what she's chatting to God about. And she said, friends, family, church. I said, oh, okay. Do you want to tell me anything else? No. Okay. I'm sure God loved you chatting to him about those things. Excellent. And actually, I can see you're a little bit calmer now that you've chatted to God. Okay. What would you like to do now? So I gave some feedback and I asked her what she wanted to do next. Let's go play now. Thought, okay, great. So that was the wave. Now, she was at creating opportunities because the prayer pot is something that we've done before. We introduced it about a year ago. About a year ago, because we made it at New Wine. And we had modelled how to use it, create windows. We used it at meal times quite a lot. And we obviously had the resource. We'd made this prayer pot with ideas of things to pray about with her, and we'd explained why we chat to God and about different things. So she was at the point of having a go herself. In the past, she's only ever used it when we've said, oh, let's use the prayer pot tonight, and we've started it off. So that was good to see. She hadn't used it in about 6 months. It's amazing what kids that age can remember. But she was at the point of creating opportunities in the cycles when that wave came. So, how long does a wave last? Varies. Some waves can last months on end, like the frozen wave. It lasts forever. Please, someone tell me when she's gonna get off it. Yeah. So some waves last absolutely ages. And you've just got to let it last. There's no point trying to stop it. I've tried to stop the frozen wave and it hasn't worked. And other waves are really short. So with the prayer pot, I thought, great, she loves the prayer pot. So next morning at breakfast, got the prayer pot and said, would you like to use the prayer pot? I'll get you a snack in a minute. Would you like to use the prayer pot? And I was met with a resounding no. She pushed it away and ate her breakfast. I was trying to force a wave. The wave had happened the day before at breakfast time. It had been and gone. It literally lasted 2 minutes. That breakfast time. It was not going to happen again the next day. It had been and gone. So some waves may even only be 30 seconds long. It may literally just be a 30-second conversation with them about something. And you may not get through the entire cycle. It may just be one step of the cycle. And then that wave may come back again a few months down the line, and they might be at the next part of the cycle. So don't force the waves. Just let them come and go and last however long they happen to last for that thing. And that is surfing the waves in a nutshell. I know I've spoken quite quickly. There's been a few interruptions. It's been a lot to take in all at once, and I went through the 6-stage cycle very, very quickly. I will put some links to Parenting for Faith website. They've got a video and some more about surfing the waves, and they've also got a little article that goes through the 6 stages of the cycle in a lot more detail than I've been able to in this short video. This week, a little challenge for you. Have a think about what your child is interested in, where they might be in the cycle maybe, or even just how could you come alongside them with that, and use it to help them in their faith. I hope these videos have been helpful. This is the last tool. If you have any questions, or you have anything that you would like me to explain a bit further in another video maybe, or just one-to-one with you over the phone, or if you have any other areas of faith that you would like me to address, I am happy to do more videos. They may well have interruptions from a toddler in them like today's one has, but do get in touch. I am here to support you guys. You are all doing an amazing, fantastic job at this time. Don't forget that. Okay, praying for you all. God bless. Take care.